Hey there, I'm Ivan.
I'm Alex.
I'm Wilfred.
And tonight, it's time to grab your flint and head for the beach, because Survivor 50 is coming. This is the very first episode of It's Just a Game, Flameouts. Hello and welcome to the podcast where we watch Survivor so you don't have to. It's Just a Game, Flameouts. As you may have guessed by how French I'm not, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently as we cover the biggest series ever of the biggest reality show ever. And I'm so glad ever to have you with me. My name's Ivan, and I drop my buffs twice daily, both in quite quick succession, just after breakfast. My co-host for this season is the game designer, quiz writer, and Survivor superfan, with TV credits including Genius Game, Only Connect, and Squid Game The Challenge, Alex McMillan. Alex, where are you at buff dropping wise?
I'm sort of on a healthy 2 to 3 times a day. It very much depends on diet.
It's mostly about fibre, because obviously coconuts are a very high fibre diet. So actually, the regularity of bowel movements is one of the main strategic things going into Survivor 50 that I'm most interested in.
I often say the more husk you can get, the better.
The more husk, the less sucks.
I was like, nothing rhymes with husk except musk, and I don't know how to put that into a joke.
So each week, we'll have a special guest to go over the latest episode of Survivor 50 with us. But to lower your lobsters gently into a pot of boiling nonsense, today we're joined by iJag host and OG traitor, Wilfred Webster. Wilf, what's the longest you've ever gone without dropping a single buff?
Oh, probably about 16 hours.
That's regular, dude. Have you never
Yeah,
had
I drop buffs every morning.
Yeah, well, same, right? But there must, like, when you go travelling, for example, when I've been travelling, something about the change of diet, the change of time zone, I don't know what it is, but there can be a 0 buff day or even 2 0 buff days in a row.
Do you know what? I think, like, even before I get in the shower, my body goes buff right now. I'm like, okay.
So, the headline is this. We are 2 weeks out from the premiere of the biggest season ever of American Survivor. So in this preview episode, we're going to be convincing Wilf, and by extension you, the listener, to watch this incredible show. We're also going to be setting up our Survivor Fantasy League, which you can play along with, and giving you some tips on who to pick as we run down the movers and shakers in this all-star cast. Now, a quick FAQ before we start. This show is on CBS, and most of our listeners are in the UK. I've had a torrent of people asking me how to watch the show, and all I can say is that there are plenty of ways you can watch it, but you'll have to maybe cover up one eye and befriend a parrot to figure them out. Enough said. Wilf, where are you at with Survivor?
So Survivor for me, I've only ever watched the UK. Well, I think I watched Survivor when I was a kid somewhere. I can remember it briefly. And then in terms of lately, it's just the UK one. And that didn't give me sort of any intrigue to carry on with any other season from any other country, to be fair.
It's funny, though, because I listened back to our coverage on the It's Just a Game podcast, which I don't need to advertise because you're literally listening to it, of our coverage of the UK season. And you really loved it. I mean, we all did. All three of us thought it was absolutely fantastic. But somehow, like, it didn't, even though you liked it, it didn't make you thirst for more?
Nah, not really. I think, well, you know me, we watch a lot of reality TV. So trying to squeeze in so many shows is quite hard. So you have to look at the ones that you really want to prioritize. And we normally prioritize something that's completely new, or the traitors, or something we all sort of enjoy watching. And we don't really go back to season 2 on a lot of things that we do. So I think for me, obviously they didn't carry on with season 2 anyway, the UK version. But for me, I was like, it's just one of them shows where I ain't got time to fit it into my reality TV schedule now, because I also watch reality TV with my wife, which we don't podcast about. So it's just, yeah, it didn't really invite me back to taking time out of my life, basically.
Well, that's fair. I mean, hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll have your appetite whet for season 50. It's certainly going to be exciting. Ooh. I mean, you absolutely... Alex, what's your relationship with Survivor?
I've been pretty deep in Survivor for probably about 8 years now. I think the first season I got in on properly was Triple H, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, a season that everyone would say is quite mid. But I enjoyed it enough. It kind of hooked into me there, and I've been going back to it ever since. Luckily, there is enough of it that if this is the only reality show you're into, you will never go hungry. But yeah, on top of the otherwise steady diet of other shows I'm getting. I just find Survivor so like clean, so agile. There's just like something really kind of like knowing it's to some degree the original. It's the same feeling you get when you watch Big Brother of like, oh, this is like an institution, you know?
It feels significant. Winning it means something. And I think for me, the thing that makes American Survivor so good is the iteration. It's repetitive if you watch them all like one after the other, which I did do. Wilf will know this because I talked about it on the podcast, but I just kind of got bored and decided to binge all 50 seasons. And it's been an experience. It's been wonderful. But the repetitiveness of it and the fact that it's gone through so many generations and players have grown up on it and therefore have this incredible intrinsic understanding of strategy within that game.
Oh, absolutely. I think to some degree, I think of Survivor being like chess, where it's very much a case of, this is a very static game. It's been this way for, years. But because of that consistency, it means that you do get an evolution of strategy. You do get people coming up with new ideas and counters to those ideas.
One of the things that does intrigue me about Survivor is when we watch the US Traitors, I do look at it and go, that when Boston Rob was on there, and I was like, oh my God, what a amazing character, crazy strategist. So I do feel that I've missed them kind of characters when I did watch the UK season. So I think it's definitely something I might jump into at some point. But you're going to convince me to do it ASAP.
I think that is a big part of it as well, Wilf, is that when you do see the sort of characters that have come out of American Survivor on other shows like The Traitors, there is just like a level of theatricalness to them. Like they almost feel like characters invented for these shows. And I just don't think that's something you necessarily get from other reality shows that haven't run long enough to sort of develop that legacy.
It's like they lean into their arcs, don't they? It's like
Yes.
the physical person leans into the arc that's been sort of edited for them, maybe? Is that the right way to say it?
Definitely. And we'll see that with some of the characters as well that we talk about later today. I mean, Coach is the biggest example. Someone who knows his pitch, right? Who knows what he's on the show for, and therefore he'll kind of play up to it in a way that you wouldn't see on UK TV because it would be considered cheesy, maybe? So Will, I can see that you're showing some interest, but I want to know, what are the chances right now? What's the percentage chance that you're actually going to watch Survivor 50 in 2 weeks' time?
This is not because you told me to say 0% at the beginning of the podcast, but it's probably 0%.
Oh my God.
Because I'm just so busy.
An authentic goose egg.
Wow. Amazing. It's a real 0% there from Wilfred. Well, listen, mate, you're busy. You've got a big life. You've got social media. You've got, all sorts of sponsored content. I believe you just met a famous chef. Things are going well for you. But we are going to play a little game where we're going to try and find 3 reasons each why you should watch Survivor 50. And after each one, I want you to tell us if your percentage has increased from 0 or even decreased below 0, which isn't mathematically possible. So, Alex, do you want to go first? What's your first reason to watch Survivor 50?
Yeah, well, let me sell you on the idea of actually getting to hear people talk about strategy. This is sort of the big thing. This is the big thing that really got me in the door originally, because I like you, I love Traitors, I love other reality shows. However, on those shows, I do think that the narrative, each person's narrative, can be a bit restricted because you don't necessarily get to be fully honest about, your strategy in the game. In Traitors, most people playing Traitors know, okay, I actually kind of just need to get to the end and find a path to the end. They can't really talk about that. You have to kind of skirt around it. You have to talk about how you want to find Traitors, even though that's suboptimal. Not naming any names. On Survivor, every player is fully open in their confessionals about exactly what they are wanting to do and their plans with other people. And that means that you really get to see this super interesting dynamic of like who's lying to who and who doesn't trust who. And you're not out of the loop on anything. And it's just, there's something so thrilling about coming to the culmination of an episode and we're getting to that vote and you've kind of got most of the picture, but you still know anything could change at that last moment. It's sort of like if prior to a Traitors Roundtable, you actually got a full picture of, okay, I think this person's targeting this person, but that could change. The number of like elements that are like moving around, it's just dizzying.
Wilfred, have you increased from 0%?
I have increased, and I'll say the reason why first, then when I tell you the percentage, is the fact that I love strategic moves. I love watching people plan. I love the payoff. I think the payoff on a strategy, even when it doesn't pay off, but they try it and it goes wrong at the end, I love it. I love strategy. I think watching people talk about strategy is really interesting for how their brain works and how they're going to come about it. So I'm going to increase. I'd say probably like 20%. That's quite high. I know.
Jeez, that's a
Yeah,
wow,
that's how
nice
much
Beat
I
up,
love
bruh.
strategies.
Okay, my first reason why you should watch Survivor 50 is Siri Fields. So, this is a returnees season. Every single person playing in this season has played before at least once. And that means you go into this with players who, yeah, maybe you don't know their entire story, but you know they're going to be good. Siri Fields has this incredible unfinished story. She came into Survivor quite early on in Survivor Panama, and she came into the game portrayed as basically never having been outside before. Like, she was scared of leaves in episode 1, okay? She was this quite motherly figure. She was like all of America. And they kept using the phrase, she got up off the couch. She grew and adapted with this incredibly calm, trust-gaining social play, and then pulled off one of the most incredible tactical moves of all time. The 3-2-1 plurality vote. Hopefully you understand the rules of Survivor. You're on a beach, and each week you vote one person out. It's that simple, okay? There are more complications, but they don't matter. She figured out this way to turn all 6 players in the game towards her unlikely outcome, and twisted the entire thing on its head in a never-before-done show of social play. It was incredible. She was too much of a threat. Her alliance turned on her, and she came 4th. She came back in Survivor Micronesia, which was fans versus favourites, which was hilarious because the fans, the tribe of fans, most of them had never seen the series before, which meant the favourites could run ripshod, is that a word? Ruckshod, ravshab over the favourites. We got to a part, there was this legendary Black Willow alliance, which had Parvati, who you've seen on Traitors, and Siri and other players as well. Incredible social play, masterful tactical moves, including convincing poor Eric Reichenbach to give up his idol and then voting him out. It was amazing as you watched each member of the Black Widow Alliance do their work to make Eric think he was safe to give up his idol, and then they turned the screw. Once again, Siri was at the center of this amazing move. She deserved to win, and in the final 3, the remaining members of her alliance voted her out again. She was brought back for Survivor Heroes versus Villains, but by that point she was too much of a threat, so she was taken out early, 2nd episode. Then she was in Survivor Game Changers, and during the Idol-geddon period of this show where there were too many immunity idols, so at one point she was in the top 6, and she was the only player without immunity. She was eliminated from the show without receiving a single vote. She's been on Australian Survivor, and she's finished 4th. She's just the player who is the best player ever to have won. And we know this because she's been on The Traitors. And guess what? You watched it. She won. She's been on Big Brother. She won. She's got this incredible resume. She is the most loving, motherly, like strategically sharp player. And this may be her last chance. So she comes onto the beach in Survivor 50 with this great expectation that if she doesn't win, it's a disappointment. And there are 23 other players who know all of the things I just said.
I've watched Siri, and she was brilliant, and she pulled the craziest gameplay at the end of The Traitors. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to ruin it for you. But I think watching somebody who deserves to win, like for me, I think I should have won The Traitors, right, season 1. I really believe that, but I have no qualms or anything like that. I don't go, I wish I won, but I don't. But I think I should have. So in my mind, I'd love to go back in and get that chance to try and win again. So because Siri's doing that, and she's done it multiple times and never won, it's like makes me want to watch her to see her finally, hopefully get the recognition she deserves. So I think I'm up to about 32 and a half.
Oh, I got 12.5% on that one, Alex.
That's
Are you
nice.
proud of me?
Yeah. That was pretty good stuff. I think Siri's a solid person to talk about, especially when you consider amongst those 23 other people, like there are people that see her level of threat as like something to get rid of, and there are people who see that level of threat as, oh great, a shield I can hide behind. And then if you look at when she was on Australian Survivor, there were other like legends of the game from like Survivor New Zealand who were literally just like, I'm willing to lose because I want Siri Fields to win so badly. Like she's like a messiah. It's incredible.
Alex, is second reason why Wolf should watch? He's on 32.5% right now.
Well, let's see if I can get you up to 40% with this. Let me tell you a little about hidden immunity idols. We've talked a little bit about idols, and like, coming from traders, you understand shields and the idea of having an advantage. I think idols are the perfect advantage in a reality TV show. They are so simple and so effective. So essentially, there are idols hidden out in the jungle, and originally you used to get clues as to where they were. Nowadays, people just go and hunt for them all the time in their spare time when they're on the beach because there's nothing else to do. If you find a hidden immunity idol, it comes with a little note saying, "Congratulations, you found this hidden immunity idol." The effect that idol has is when you are at Tribal Council, and if you play it before the votes are read, any votes cast against you don't count. And that is such a small change, but it basically allows Tribal Council to become like poker. It's absolutely mind-blowing the effects that this can have of like, okay, so, route one is I want everyone to hate me so that everyone will vote for me, and then I can cancel all of those votes, and then I get to choose who goes home. There's also the idea of, okay, what if I lie and say that I have an idol even though I don't? I make a fake idol. Everyone thinks I've got an idol. No one votes for me. Like, those are just route one. We have had like 20 years of people working on ways to bluff and double bluff with these little like rocks and little necklaces. And yeah, the advantages have got a bit out of hand over the years. Like, they add more and more rules. But just that initial idea of like, I might have something in my pocket that can totally ruin your day. It just makes Tribal Council so exciting to me.
I love it already. So you said about you can make people hate you, get all the votes on you. Your vote still stands though, right? So you can get somebody out. That's such a powerful play, man. Yeah, I'm. You've got me on the 8.5% up. What am I? No, 7.5%. What am I on? 40%.
40%.
I am 100% on 40%. I'm 100% on 40%.
We're gonna talk about Rizzo later. He was in season 49, but his version of the idol play was show everyone he'd got an idol in about the final 9, and then every single tribal was like, I'm going to play it today, don't bother, I'm going to play it. And he never played it, not until the final 5. He basically got from the final 9 to the final 4 with one idol, and he never played it. It was insane. It was so cool.
There are some like really just incredible uses of it. So there was another one, this was like David versus Goliath quite a few seasons ago at this point. Guy had an idol. He got up to say he was going to play it, and then gauging the reaction of everyone from him showing the idol, he was able to work out, oh, okay, I don't need to play this because no one looks panicked that I'm about to play it. So clearly no one's voted for me. I mean, and like there's mania, like some guy, Adam Klein in season 40, attempted to play the podium that Jeff reads the votes from as an idol because he was so convinced that there was an idol hidden at the tribal council area that he was like, it must be the podium you're standing at. Like, people just go nuts for these things.
So at tribal council, can they go, I'm going to use my immunity idol to look at people's faces and then go, actually, no, I'm all right?
Yeah,
they
as long as you don't hand it to Jeff. Once you hand it to Jeff, you're not getting it back. That's you essentially playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is fun, man.
It is fun. All right, well, here's my second reason. We're at Tribal already, so I'm going to keep it at Tribal. My second reason why you should watch Survivor 50 is live tribals. So live tribals are the unofficial name given to the breakdown of Tribal Council. It seems to happen about once a series, and every time it does, I lose my tiny fucking mind. So it starts with some whispering, right? Jeff is asking Angelina a question, and Angelina is answering. And you can see she like glancing to her side because she's being distracted. You look over, the camera pans, and here is Ed and Steve, and they're whispering to each other. And Angelina stops talking. And then more people start to whisper. And then someone gets up and goes around the back of the tribal and starts whispering to their friend. And suddenly, tribal has just stopped. And Jeff's there being like, this is great. And it breaks down into this kind of sudden drinks party of panic as people start to change their plans and convince each other to stick with them. So you've just got from a very ordered, Jeff asks a question, someone answers, Jeff asks another question, someone gives a bit of a pained metaphor. Suddenly, the whole idea of tribal, imagine if the round table in Traitors just stopped and everyone stood up and started chatting on their own. And because Survivor's loose with its rules and allows that, You get these incredible panicky moments. And then somehow, after some time, they all sit back down again. And invariably, Jeff goes, wow. And then like it carries on, and then you go and vote, and then who knows what's going to happen. That live tribal, that idea that the game has lost control, and it's just like electric with energy and with panic and paranoia in a moment when you should just have this basic question and answer, is my favorite moment of any series. I adore it.
So if I was playing Blood on the Clock Tower or something
Yeah.
like that, or Traitors or whatever, and just before the round table, you know, some people get really scattered and they don't know who they're voting for, and everyone just goes around quickly going, like, and then you get to the table and you don't have any idea of what you're actually going to do. Is it sort of like that?
Often, no. The only thing that's not the case is pretty much everyone goes into every tribal with an idea of what they're going to do. So it's more like something said during tribal has shaken someone in their strength, right? Imagine that you are pretty confident going into tribal that we're all going to vote Alex and no one's going to vote for you. But Wilf, halfway through tribal, suddenly you think, hang on, it sounds like people are going to vote for me. And you start whispering to me, it's Alex, right? We're voting for Alex. And I go back to you, yeah, absolutely. But you don't trust me. And so you go around and you literally stand up and go and ask someone else.
Yes,
and
I love that.
The thing about it is that in most shows, they would say, sit down. Like even in Clock Tower, if you started like whispering during nominations, I'd be like, Wilf, can you not? But because it's Survivor and because it's happened and because it's such a great moment, that chaos is just encouraged. So that's my reason.
So they just allowed it. I like that.
They just allow it.
I think I'd go up to 50% on this.
You're on 50%. Oh, Alex.
Just for the fact that being able to be free with, you know, because sometimes being restricted, it's like, oh my God, I still have things that I could say that could possibly get me out of this situation, and then getting told that you can't do that, that's really stressful.
So frustrating.
I went to play a game of a game of the Traitors somewhere, and the round table, there was like no talk between round tables and stuff, and it was just a bit weird because I couldn't go out and strategize and say I need, like, you know, just trying to create the narrative I wanted to happen was really hard. So I love that this allows that.
One of the funniest bits of live tribals to me is that so usually the person who is the most out of the loop will kind of try to continue having a normal tribal. And it's like sort of watching, like, imagine like the Prime Minister at Prime Minister's Questions attempting to continue to have like peace and order whilst everyone is having a bar brawl behind him. Like, it's so funny that someone is still trying to be like, oh yeah, no, me and you, Jeff, we're just talking whilst everyone behind you is talking about how they're about to stab you in the back. It's so funny.
Cringe. It's amazing. All right, so we have one reason each, and we have 50% more confidence to build in Wilf. Alex, what's your last reason to watch Survivor 50?
So I want to talk a bit about the sort of like breadth of this cast in regards to, like, I think there are some people on this cast that are very kind of like familiar to the way a UK reality contestant would be. And there are some people that are just totally detached from any sort of casting on UK reality television. So the two examples that I want to tell you about here, Wilf, is Christian Hubicki and Coach. So Christian Hubicki is someone that I believe is like, he's a very clever guy. Like, he's very established, very charming, but he does seem like he would fit on a UK version of a reality show. Like, you could see him on something over here. He's very level-headed. He's a sort of a robotics scientist. He lectures in robotics. And he's, you know, he came into his original season, David versus Goliath, as a David, so on the kind of like nerdy underdog tribe. And he established himself over the course of the series as like someone who is tough enough to survive out in the jungle. And actually, it turns out he's got a lot of sociability, even though he's supposedly, you know, quite an awkward, like, you know, guy who works on robotics. So he's like very sort of like level. You kind of understand that sort of person. You could see that sort of person on UK Traders. Coach is insane. Coach is legitimately one of the greatest reality TV characters to ever exist. His name is Benjamin Wade, but you would never know that because he only refers to himself as Coach. During his first season, I think it was his first season, on his friends, and he also refers to himself as the Dragon Slayer. So he's not exclusively Coach. He's also the Dragon Slayer. Again, unclear why. On one of his first seasons, I think it was his first one, during the sort of friends and family visit that they used to have, everyone else had their mom come along, or their, you know, their husband or their brother. Coach, his loved one, was his assistant coach. And they
That's
had
amazing because that's just like I can imagine an American coach who's just
Yeah.
obsessed with being a coach. Like it's just amazing.
he is truly like, and the thing is, he's very self-aware now. Like he has become this sort of
Yeah.
person. He understands that, in his first season, he was totally detached from reality. Like he was this like villainous sort of player. He went on to be on the heroes and villains tribe as a villain. But what's really interesting is, so he kind of began as like this guy who was doing Tai Chi out on the beach and everyone was making fun of him. He went off to like Exile Island, which was this like, dune of sand in the middle of nowhere. And there's this like incredible scene of him just kind of doing Tai Chi to no one. Like it's amazing.
He returns from that exile island to a task. Like Jesus, he's like, I have not eaten, I have not slept or drunk. No water has passed my mouth. He's like the 7th person to go to Exile Island. They all know it's fine. Like random people have been and come back and be fun. He's there, like expected to have holes in his hands and feet, just being like, this has how it come to pass, and I shall transcend. It's just, and he doesn't realize how cringe he's being. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no worries. The very last time he played, so he last played like over a decade ago, and it was his 3rd time playing. And for lack of a better term, he essentially started a cult. So he was one of only 2 returning players. Both of them are going to be on this cast, but everyone else was newbies. His entire tribe, he basically indoctrinated them and like made them so loyal to him that they were like willing to kill each other off in order to like keep Coach in the game and keep Coach happy.
He must be a good coach.
Oh,
He
I
must
mean,
be a very good coach.
I would trust no one else to coach me on soccer, but Benjamin Wade, let me tell you. And like, so he gets to the end, he gets to final tribal, and he's talking about how loyal he's been, and then he realizes, oh, everyone on the jury now hates me because I indoctrinated them and then cast them aside. So he lost, and like he built this cult, and then he got thrown out of it, and so he's coming back after a decade, like. I just think we go from 0 to 100 in regards to like the level of like zaniness of the people on this cast.
So that is your 5th of 6 reasons, Wilfred. Where are you at now with your percentage?
A lot higher. Like that's like I'd give that a 20%. Do you know why? The reason why is because characters make like I love like it's so when you're in a reality game and you're sucked into this game and just knowing that you get attached to characters like people quite easily because you're there 24/7, you're living with these people, but knowing that a guy refers to himself as coach the whole time and made everybody love him, like I find that intriguing to see how he even done that. I want to know what series that is because I think I would watch that series.
Survivor Tocantins is his first one. It's the one with Stephen Fishback in it, and he over the fire in the evenings he tells these stories, these fanciful stories. I was going down the Amazon on a steamer and I was attacked by natives, and it's just like he just tells these, and they have to be false, but he believes them to be true. I single-handedly took down 6 Vietnamese rebellion. Like he just says these crazy things, and it's just he's in his own world. It's utterly amazing.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Like when you were talking to me about him, he reminds me of Steven Seagal. Like that's what I'm imagining.
Yeah, he has long blonde hair through his series as well. He's now got like short grey hair. So, and I hope he's going to still play the role of coach. We will see, but it's definitely worth watching just to find out if he does. So you think you're up to 70%, Wilfred?
I'm up to 70%.
We're so close, okay, Ivan. We're so close.
I've got 30% to make up with my final reason to watch Survivor 50. And Wilfred, I think I can do 30% in 3 words, 10% per word. Okay?
Go on then.
So I'm not going to explain this. I'm just going to tell you the reason. And if it doesn't get to 100%, then I don't know you. Wilfred Webster from The Traitors, my 3rd and final reason why you should watch Survivor 50. No cash builders.
Oh my God, really? Is there no cash builders?
There's a prize.
Yeah, you've got me. I'm watching it 100%. Like that's one of the reasons. No, listen, I swear on everything. One of the main reasons I avoid certain reality shows is the fact that I cannot watch any more cash builder missions. I just can't do it. My brain's just like, I've watched so many of them. They're so copied and pasted with it. Like, it's like, what? It's like copying and pasting off GPT and changing the Zs to S's because it's American. Like that's what it reminds me of. So it's like knowing there's no cash, but I'm in
Yeah.
because now I get to watch full strategy. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I knew it.
100%.
So there are between 1 and 2 challenges, missions. What are they called? Challenges in an episode. One of them can be for a reward, which is obviously important, mostly because it's calories, right? So you need your calories to be able to like play the game properly. And the second one is for immunity, tribal immunity when you're in multiple tribes, and then once you've merged to one tribe, it's individual immunity. The prize is $1 million, right? Actually, I think probably Mr. Beast is going to turn up and say it's 2. Forget that. Don't listen to that. That's going to take you down from 100 again.
Ignore the beast behind the curtain. We're fine.
I think probably it's going to be 2 million, but I don't think it's going to be a cash build as 2 million because it never has been. The point is, that's the prize. Play for it. And that for me is just purity. So there we go. We've got you to 100%. Wilf, congratulations.
Yeah.
We will watch episode 1 and you can feed back. You can stop at any time, but I recommend you watch it because it's going to be damn good.
It's like as soon as you said about cash builders, like honestly, you don't understand. It's the bane of my life. Like when I watch so many, and that's not to say that the cash builders are rubbish. It's just the fact that we've done 60 episodes on It's Just a Game. Where near enough every episode we will talk about cash builders because we've watched them. So when you think about that, and don't forget, some of them episodes are about three episodes of a reality TV show. So I've watched so many cash builder missions that they just, my brain's just. I can't explain it. It's just too much.
I think a big benefit as well that comes from not having to worry about building up your jackpot is everyone knows exactly what they're playing for from the jump. Like on shows, like The Traders, where it's a case of, okay, we're looking to like boost the money up. It's like, okay, but it's nice having an objective in mind. Like trying to win The Traders is like, I'm going to win some amount of money. Whereas on Survivor, it's like, no, we all know exactly what we're striving for, and it just makes things so much clearer.
Nice. Okay, so having done that, I think we should talk about the big thing that we're going to be launching as the podcast for you, the listener. It's Just a Game Survivor 50 Fantasy League. So here's how it's going to work. In the description of this episode, I'm going to put a link to a form. I'll also put it on my socials, and Wilf and Alex can put it on theirs as well. All you got to do is click on that and pick 5 players who are playing in this series to be on your squad. When they score points, you score points. You're also going to pick 1 player to be your bogey. When they score points, you lose points. So basically, you want to try and pick 5 players who you're supporting while watching the show. You don't have to know anything about them. None of us know how they do. And 1 player who you're going to boo and hiss when you see them on the screen. We're going to follow and we're going to basically update you every episode on who's winning, who got the most points this week, who's making a big surge, which players to watch out for. I haven't figured out a way mechanics-wise for you to like transfer players. Maybe that's for next series. For now, you're just going to pick 5 players to win and 1 player to lose and watch them play. And that's going to give you if I know anything from the fact that I'm suddenly into football, fantasy leagues help you stay invested, okay? That's the point here. So you'd have to remember all of that, because I've made a lovely spreadsheet. All the links will be, once you've clicked on that form to enter your characters, the links will be there. But believe me, you want to do this. It's going to take 3 minutes of your time, and hopefully you'll be invested for the rest of the season. Alex,
and the winner gets to be on the podcast with us for 1 episode.
That's news to me, Will.
This is now a live podcast. Things are happening. Wow. We need to.
Hang on, I'm just going to chat. Alex, are we okay with this?
I don't think we agreed to that. I don't know.
I think I'm going to vote for Wilf. Okay.
What's going on?
No,
it's Wilf. It's fine. It's fine. Sit down.
You just answer the question Jeff asked you. The winner will receive something. We'll do cash builders to see how much they win.
We will do challenges to decide how much time you get on an episode of iJag in the future.
I think you'll get at least a voice note on the podcast, at most a guest spot on the podcast, depending on factors that I'm not willing to divulge right now. So listen to me here. The thing is, there are 24 people on this series, and who the hell are they? We're expecting you, the listener, to either know all of them already, in which case, fine, enjoy this part, or to not know any of them, in which case, this will be overwhelming. But we're going to try and run down some of the movers and shakers in this game, who you might want to pick on your team, and how they might score points. So, let's break it down, starting with the Vatu tribe. This, I believe, is the kind of is they the blue tribe? I can't.
They
I
are
can't
the
remember.
purple tribe.
The purple tribe. So we're starting with Colby Donaldson. He is the American hero. He was back in the second series, survived the Australian outback, and he was known as a challenge beast. That was 25 years ago, though. Will Colby accept his paternal role and lead the group in a more avuncular way, or will he still try and rock and roll with the big hitters?
I think Colby is so interesting because he sort of represents everything Survivor was back in like the early 2000s, where it was just like he is just this like rugged guy who wants to go out and go on like a sort of get stranded on an island. He doesn't really care about the game. He's all about like the experience of Survivor, the ability to like go out and do these sort of pioneering things. So the idea of putting him on a show with like people that were not even born when he played Survivor in, I think, some cases. I think, the youngest member of this cast was the same age that he was when he played this in like 2001. So he's so out of the loop. It's like, I cannot wait to see him try to talk to someone who knows what 6'7" is, Like, it's just an insane thought.
If you're listening at home going, these are all words, if you watch the video version of this, I will put up a face so you can put a name to a face each time. So let's move on to Genevieve. Genevieve was in Survivor 47. She was part of the infamous Operation Italy, which was a legendary immunity idol bluff that they clearly tried to call the Italian job, but like there had been a producer had to go, you can't, no, it's copyright. So they called it Operation Italy. It was amazing. And she was kind of like a light villain in the series. And I think she'll be really, really exciting in this one. She's bound to do some cool social stuff.
Genevieve's really fascinating because the first time we saw her, which was only a few years ago, it was in Survivor 47, like the beginning of her season, we didn't really know who she was. Like, she didn't really come up in the edit until the sort of latter half of the game, at which point she was revealed to have been this like mastermind who's been working behind the scenes the whole time, and you didn't even realize she was fully as much of a force as she was. So very interesting now that to go from like being this quiet underdog to now being, amongst a whole group of people that know, oh, you're the person who's really sneaky and duplicitous.
So also in Vatu Tribe is Rizzo. We've mentioned him already. He was in Survivor 49, so the most recent series, and he made his name by repeatedly not playing his idol and surviving into the final 3 on a single idol.
Rizzo is probably not what you're going to know him as. He will be referring to himself repeatedly as the Riz God.
And third person.
In third person, he is exclusively, no one believes in Rizzo as hard as Rizzo does.
I think probably that's underplaying it. It's RIZGOD, the Riz God
the
baby.
Riz God
That's
baby.
Yeah.
I did abbreviate it down for time. I'm not going to state my claim early here. I will be surprised if Rizzo is long for this world, because a big factor of him and another person that we're going to talk about, he was just on Survivor 49. The cast of Survivor 50 did not see Survivor 49 because it had not aired at the time that they were recording it.
But this is the Russell Hands thing. So one of the people who is not on this show, would never have been on this series, is Russell Hands, who was on Survivor 19, Survivor Samoa, and he thought he'd won. Of course, they don't find out if they've won until the live final. So he went into Survivor Heroes versus Villains with no one knowing who he was and him not knowing how he'd done. But he made up different stories to different people. Apparently, I think he told Colby, maybe he told Coach that he'd been really loyal and he'd got backstabbed and he'd punched the guy who backstabbed him in the face when he was eliminated, and that's why they'd made him a villain. Right? So he just told a lie, made up a story, and he almost won Heroes versus Villains. So there's a chance, right, that these 49 players can actually do really well because they're an unknown quantity. Though you're right, the likelihood is they get voted out early.
Just a quick question. From the cast that's going into season 50, series 50, whatever you want to call it, who's been on the most games of Survivor?
There's people who've been on 4. That would be Siri and Ozzy. Has Stephanie been on 4?
I think Stephanie's only been on 3. Yes, she's been on 3. Coach has been on 3.
Would you say those people are more likely to do better or worse because they've been on more games, they're seen as bigger threat? Like, how would you see that? Just for people that are going to play the Fantasy League and they've never watched it before, like, you know what I mean?
This is for sure, and this is the interesting thing about the game. It can go 2 ways. So when Coach started a cult, part of that cult was because he was the shield, right? He was the one that everyone was saying, well, they've got to get rid of Coach before they get rid of me because Coach is a bigger threat. So if you're a massive threat and you play it right, you become a shield to other players who try and keep you in so that when they finally do get rid of you, they're still in the game.
I do think, you sort of look on the inverse of that as well, Wilfred. And like in the case of Rizzo, he literally played his first time a week before Survivor 50 started recording. Like the gap between 49 and 50 was 1 week. He got a week's rest. He then is brought back out to play 50, amongst a cast of people that he knows who all of them are. None of them know who he is.
Let's move on to Angelina, who is now what was she in? She was in David vs Goliath, wasn't she?
She was a Goliath. She was a Goliath, if you can believe it.
Goliath, and because she was born into money, I think was the reason why. She is kind of quite an entitled. She kind of has a soccer mum kind of cringe thing to her. Her most famous thing was voting out Natalie in order to get her jacket, and then as Natalie was voted out, she tried to pretend she hadn't voted for her, and her famous line, Natalie, can I have your jacket? Natalie, and Natalie's there like having a torch snuff. This is her moment in the sun. Very, very memorable. Not the only one. Other ones where she climbed a small ladder and then claimed it was a 50-foot high ladder. She sold basically everything in the camp for some rice. She basically decided to start a kind of bidding war with Jeff over some rice. She sold everything they had for some rice and then went on for the rest of the series to talk about how selfless she'd been. And someone pointed out, if you keep using it as a reason for people to vote for you, it's not selfless, is it? You're trying to get something out of it.
She is a woman, and I say this with all love in the world, that is devoid of shame. And I really think that is a wonderful quality to have in a reality contestant.
So we also have another very abrasive character, Q. Q is this incredible character from season 46. He's a kind of young African-American man, incredibly cool, and a leader. He needs to be a leader. He tries to build this alliance of 6 post-merge. And when it fails, he throws his toys out the pram. And he does this thing, and people have done it before, where he plays the outcast in order to not get voted out. He's too easy a target because he's like, I'm going home today, so everyone vote for me, everyone vote for me. And then they use that distraction to keep voting off different people. He becomes this abrasive, obnoxious outcast of a player and uses it to actually get really, really far in the game.
I mean, he's a man who gets gripes against people for the most demented reasons. So someone who we're going to be talking about later, Emily, in pre-game stuff, Q has talked about the fact that he will not work with Emily for 3 reasons, and that is because she eats pork, drinks Coke, and writes left-handed. Like, there is absolutely... And he thinks that means, okay, well, that means she can't be trusted, clearly, because she doesn't care about anything.
I think the fact that he manages to hide that so well for the first half of Series 46 is what makes it so exciting when he finally turns and becomes this Chaos Goblin. Okay, then we have Stephanie. So she's an old school player. She was in Survivor Palau. Her story is that she was in the cursed Oolong tribe, who one by one got voted out because they couldn't win immunity until there were just 2 of them left, her and Bobby John. And they lost immunity again, and they did a fire-making challenge and ended up with Stephanie being the only member of her tribe, while the other tribe was still completely whole. 9 versus 1 or something like that. So it had this amazing episode where it was just her sitting on the beach alone, like rubbing 2 rocks together, just like nothing to do. And eventually it was like, all right, Stephanie, get on a boat. There's no merge. You're just going to join the other tribe. She actually did okay. I think she came like 7th or something, but it was really incredible, and she became America's sweetheart for some time. She's quite a hero. She's a very, you can really get behind her as a character.
We also do know from sort of murmurings we've heard like pre-season that she's like attempting to target people like Sari. She's going to be going in there, sort of trying to take out big characters. It seems like that's the impression she's been given. And a
giant killer.
I find that a very interesting strategy for someone who is, from the original seasons to kind of go after the massive characters, because I don't know what position that leaves you in. She's someone I think is either going to get knocked out very quickly or get very deep. I don't think she goes in the mid game.
Now we're on to Kyle. Kyle won Survivor 48, so he won 2 seasons ago with a secret alliance with Camilla, who's also on this series. He was a secret lawyer, he kept lots of things secret, and he won with grace. I mean, I think the reason why he's such an interesting character is because he did so well, and we haven't seen him struggle yet. But for that reason, I don't know how much I can get behind him, apart from to say he's won recently.
Kyle's lovely. He played very strong when he last played. I think his biggest issue is going to be he is the most recent winner that this entire cast is familiar with. Everyone knows he won $1 million the other day.
And Wilf, I mean, I know that you've been sitting here listening, but like, imagine a Traitors All-Stars. They're going to kill off the winners first, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if there was a Traitors All-Stars, I think even if it was mixed Faithfuls and Traitors, the Traitors would probably be under scrutiny really early on, and they'd try and get rid of the Traitors, especially the ones that have won. I think Faithfuls
sure.
that have won, people would keep them in because they won and they must know what they're doing. But we know most of the time, a lot of them don't really know what's going on.
Enough said. So our final member of the Vatu tribe is Aubrey. Incredibly likable. She was in Survivor Co-Wrong, which is one of the most dramatic and punishing series. Lots of people sort of fainting and passing out and having to medevac and things. Very exciting. She was great. Tactically very strong. She's been in 2 or 3 seasons now. She's not got like one memorable moment. She's just always quite good, quite strong, pretty hard to get rid of. Very likable.
I think what's interesting about Aubrey is first time she played, she finished in 2nd place. And it was like very much a kind of scandal at the time, this idea that she had lost, because there was a lot of factors that had gone against her in the end. She's sort of referred to as this, like robbed queen. So every time she has returned since this 2nd place loss, that was a very narrow loss, she has done worse. And I think that's actually going to put her in quite good stead here. She went from like, oh, I nearly won the first time. The second time she played, oh, I made it to nearly the end and then I fell out. And then the third time she played, she got kind of clipped right away. So I think no one's going to be seeing her as a threat, except for Q, who, is the kind of guy you don't want to have his finger over the nuclear button anyway. So I do think that if it comes down to people, Q saying, oh, we need to get rid of Aubrey, and her being like, do you really trust Q? I think she wins that battle. Aubrey is someone I am very likely to have on my draft.
So that is the Vatu tribe. On to Sela, which I think is the yellow tribe. We're going to start with Joe. Joe was in season 48, and he had the most beautiful fatherly relationship with Eva, who's not on this season, unfortunately, where she entrusted her autism with him, and he helped her cope with like an overload moment after a task. It's one of the few Survivor moments to make Jeff cry. And that's probably why he's back. I cry all the time, but maybe the most then. It is beautiful. You may have seen it. It went very viral. I think I told you about it at the time, Wilf, because it was so incredible. But Joe, he had a very unremarkable game apart from being a challenge beast. But this moment is so memorable that that's why he's back.
I think Joe's going to be interesting in the sense of I don't know what his story progression is really. It felt like he had a very complete narrative the first time we saw him.
Yeah.
He is just kind of a very strong, capable family man who's very loyal. And I kind of don't know if I see him change. I don't know if he can change from that. So I don't think Joe can win, but I think he's very much the sort of person that if you want to take someone to the end that you can probably beat because he'll talk himself into 3rd place again, I could see him doing quite well.
I just think also he's a challenge beast. You need challenge beasts in the show because they become threats if they last too long. We'll move on to Savannah, who was the winner of Survivor 49. Strong winner. Coming from a minority to slowly pick off the majority. Same as Rizzo here. She's an unknown quantity, and that may either stand for her or more likely against her. She's got a very strong social game, and she can talk her way out of anything. I think she's great. I don't think she's going to win 50. What about you, Alex?
Right. One of her biggest problems, other than what I've said about Rizzo, in that, she is kind of an unknown quantity. They don't know she's won when she goes into the show. She will probably have to kind of be forthcoming with that and tell everyone, oh, I just won Survivor. Like, I am the most recent winner, which is, you may as well paint a massive scarlet target on your forehead. But also, she's there with Rizzo. Like, there are these 2 unknowns, and I think the longer one of them survives, the more you want to push out the other person. So I think if Sela, they go to a tribal and they see that Rizzo's still hanging around, it's like, okay, well, we can't risk these 2 getting to meet up again.
Next, we have Christian Hubicki, an audience favourite, an Ivan favourite, an Alex favourite. He, in episode 1 of his season, David vs. Goliath, took on, he was picked as the person most likely to fail, I think, took on a slide puzzle, beat it in seconds, and then went, oh yeah, Jeff, I designed an algorithm to solve slide puzzles. This was kind of okay for me. and just went from there from strength to strength. He was on the same season as Johnny Mundo, John Morrison, like this wrestler who's like the coolest, sexiest man in the world, and had such incredible chemistry with him, talking about the fact that Johnny was the mayor of Slamtown and whether he could move, how much real estate cost in Slamtown, whether he'd be the comptroller of Slamtown. It just became this like incredibly funny, hugely like get alongable guy. At one point, he was in a task which basically included him being crucified. And he was like, great, I've got Jeff here. For as long as I stand up here, I'm going to talk to him about rocket science. And he just basically just like lectures Jeff about science for 5 hours. He's like, I'm never going to have this chance again. I'm just going to do it. And he wins immunity by just distracting himself with science.
I've only just, Ivan, realized the irony of making someone called Christian do a task where you stand on a cross for 5 hours.
That's funny.
More than anyone on this cast, I think the majority of Survivor watchers want Christian to win. They want Christian to go far. Like, he is just so universally loved. His big problem is that everyone knows that. I think he's definitely spoken about the idea of wanting to control the narrative, which is a very interesting thing for someone with like a robotics background to try and do. Like when he first played, he was very much known for like, oh, I'm the numbers guy. I'm the person who can go out and find idols using a breadth first approach. And him wanting to be the storyteller, to essentially be the one who's, kind of controlling the image of everyone on the tribe. That's very interesting. I want Christian. I would throw myself in front of a moving train to keep Christian in Survivor.
So I'm picking Christian, I think. And the reason is because he's going to get confessionals for days, right? They love to hear him talk. He's going to score a lot of points. He's going to do a lot of really cool stuff. He's going to set the names for a lot of episodes. So even if he doesn't last that long, he's going to score points, in my opinion. Don't copy me. Don't copy my homework, but I'm going to pick him. And our next player in Sealer is Siri, who we've covered at length in this podcast, so I won't go into it anymore. But there's the narrative, there's the story. Best player ever to win. Could it be Siri? We're halfway through the cast. My God, it feels like we've been talking for hours. Wilfred, of those, 12 players, is anyone appealing to you? Anyone you think you're going to pick for your team on our fantasy draft?
I'm going to pick, I'd definitely pick Rizzo. I don't know why. I think it's just going to be fun. So I'd probably go at this point for Rizzo. I was going to go for Siri anyway. And then also, I like intelligent people that are a lot more intelligent than me. So I think Christian is somebody that I'd like to watch because I like how intelligent people's brains work, and I love to watch that and see how it works. It's something that is one of my favorite things to do.
I thought I said don't steal my homework. Oh my God, I'm so upset. Okay, on we go. 4 more members of Sealer. Next is Ozzy. So he was on Cook Islands, which was a season that it's quite hard to watch back because the tribes are divided by race.
What?
He was
when was this? Was this in the 80s, bruv?
It's a different time.
Is it a real thing?
Yeah.
Yep. Mid-noughties. Yeah, don't worry about it. Really unacceptable. It's actually a really good season. But the first episode's a bit of a shocker as they divide them up and they're like, okay, you're doing that. So never mind about that. He was a challenge beast. He can swim like a fish. He's incredible. I'm a bit surprised he's back, really, because I feel like his story's been told. He's never failed to make the merge. He's so good at challenges that he got put back in the game 3 times in a later series because he kept going to Exile Island and just winning, going to Survivor Island, whatever it's called, and Age of Extinction, I can't remember what it's called, and winning its way back. If he lasts to the end, he'll take the title of Boston Robber the most days played on the show. He's also known for having an OnlyFans and doing Playboy sort of sex work, which makes it a very complicated thing with him. He's also kind of still dressing like he's 21 when he's not. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to love watching Ozzy this series.
I kind of think that's what's fascinating about him, though, is he feels like someone who, like, this is his 5th time out. Like, what does Ozzy have left to give? I think it's quite interesting watching someone who's been on reality TV this many times show up again and sort of become self-aware and like, I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah. Why do you keep casting me on this thing?
I think if you are in this draft, if you are playing a touch Jeff heavy draft, if you are wanting someone who's going to be able to rack up points by touching Jeff, This is a guy who's going to win challenges. He's going to win individual immunities if he makes it there. And when he does, let me tell you, that man is touching Jeff. That man is touching Jeff every episode.
Wow, that's the kind of punditry we need on this episode. Thank you so much, Alex. On to Emily Flippin, financial analyst. She started Survivor 45 as a very abrasive and unlikable character. And I don't mean her as a person. I've actually played Clock Tower with her. She's great. She had this incredible arc where she figured out live what it took to play the social game and has become this fan favorite. She was amazing on her series on 45. She's so welcome back. I'm so, like, in a similar to Christian way, I'm so excited to see what she can do. But the arc of her starting as like just upsetting everyone and just being quite rude to people and then realizing I probably shouldn't have done that and then playing from the bottom upwards is really, it makes season 45, honestly.
Just to kind of get across the level of like abrasiveness Emily Flippin came into the game with, on her season, one of the guys who was on the cast was a guy who had sustained a head injury in Survivor 44 and had to get medevaced, and he'd come back and Jeff was being like, oh my God, it's so good to have you back. We're so glad you get to be here. They gave him a little bit of time to talk about the fact that he'd had this horrible traumatic experience and that he was really happy to be back. And immediately following that, Emily, in front of everyone, is just like, Jeff, he's already talking like he knows what he's doing. And I think that just shows a level of like obnoxiousness. Like she was just had no time for this man. It was incredible.
I like that though. That's fun.
I think she's going to burn bright and fast. I really think we're going to get a lovely... We're going to want more. I think regardless of where Emily goes out, we are not going to have enough Emily Flippin.
This Sealer tribe is awesome because you've got Christian, we've got Emily, and we have Rick Devons. Okay, Rick was the best part of a weak season, Edge of Extinction. The glee with which he found and played idols again and again and again was utterly joyful. He was out playing for himself. He had no alliance in the second half of the game, but they could not stop this guy from finding idols. He just every morning he went out just like a Frenchman buying bread. He'd come back with an idol. I love this guy. He is a newsreader. He's full of energy.
I don't know if I will pick Rick. I'm very happy that Rick is here. That man's shit-eating grin is one of my favorite things to see on my television. Like there is,
So
if Rick is making people miserable, I'm having a good time. Like if he's annoying people on his tribe, then we're all getting good TV. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the point in the game where he's going to be able to sort of like pick up that momentum, where he's going to be able to start finding enough idols to kind of sustain himself.
I think he's going to play this game differently. I don't think he's necessarily going to need to find all these idols, because the reason why he had to do that was because he didn't play enough of a social game, and he's a likable guy.
I think the one thing we also do know about Rick prior to this season is, based on the trailer, he will come into the possession of something called a Billie Eilish boomerang idol. We still have no idea what that is, but Rick knows it exists.
Final member of the Sealer tribe is Jenna. So Jenna is our member from season 1, Survivor Borneo. She is an excellent player. She was an excellent player. She would play a very different role because she was a kind of a young woman who was, playing kind of fast and loose. In this one, she's 25 years older and she has 25 years more experience. I think she's a bit of an unknown quantity. I think people won't know quite how to treat her. There's a level of respect. But I don't think her threat level is that high, personally. So I think she might be able to do quite a deep run by building a really strong, faithful alliance.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think Jenna sort of is a necessary person on this cast. Like, we needed someone from Survivor Borneo, and I think, you look back at Survivor Borneo, one of the rewards on that involved Jeff giving the winner a cigarette. Like, we have come a long way since then. And I think that's what makes her appearance here so fascinating, is like, what do you do playing Survivor in 2026 versus playing Survivor in, the early 2000s? And because of that, I think she's like totally unreadable to me. Like,
almost like a new player, isn't she?
Yeah, she like has this prestige, but we almost know nothing about how she would play this game. I'll be fascinated to see what she does. I don't have a read on Jenna at all.
Okay, onto the Callow tribe. This is the what color are they going to be?
Like aquamarine?
Oh, it's teal. They're the teal.
Oh, we'll go with teal. We'll go with teal.
Cool, they are. We've got Jonathan, the biggest challenge beast in the season, maybe along with Joe, Ozzy, Chrissy, but like I think he's probably the biggest. He just looks like kind of Aquaman. He's just huge. There's very little to say about him. He was on season 42. He's not the most memorable person from that season. There were some real snubs from his season, and he got on. What else is there to say about Jonathan?
I mean, he's just a real strong guy. Like, Will, for context, one challenge on his original season, it was still teams at this point. There was like 7 people per tribe. He single-handedly won his tribe. He like carried his entire tribe through the ocean in order to like win this challenge when no one else could move. I'm reading here, apparently he's a Guinness World Record holder for the most pull-ups with 100 pounds on his back. He's a strong guy. And based solely on him, I just do not think that his tribe will be going to tribal for like a good long while. I just think he's going to assure that they will stay safe.
The thing about challenge threats like him is they are most likely to go home just before the merge or just after the merge. And because once it comes to individual immunity, if he gets past that, he can make a run to the final 4. So I feel like it's most likely he goes. We also know with this massive cast, they're going to have to do some like double eliminations. They'll have to do some pulls and tricks because I don't know if the season's going to be any longer than normal. So I just think he is going to be a victim of his own strength.
Oh, very much. I don't think Jonathan is our winner, but I do think he sort of provides a boon to everyone else that we're going to talk about on this tribe.
They'll win tribal immunity, and he might win individual immunity. So if you want points based on immunity stuff, this might be something to go down. We have Dee. Dee was the dominant winner of season 45 with her alliance, the Reba 4, who she kind of stayed with the whole time. Very strong tactically, very strong social play, a very savvy winner, and somebody who I think people will understand the threat of and be very suspicious of her social play, is what I will say.
The other thing we know about Dee, she's got weird feet. That's a big running theme of Dee, is that she's big toes.
And long, thumb toes. Her thumb toes are really, really long, and everything else is normal length.
It's, again, this is something, going back to Q, this is something Q has commented on, of like, I don't trust Dee because she's got weird feet. I do think out of the 3 winners on this cast, I suspect Dee to do the best. I think if you are looking again for someone who's going to get immunity wins, but, you know, unlike Jonathan, is not likely to get sniped because of it, I do think Dee's quite a safe bet.
Yes. We have Mike White. Wilf, did you watch The White Lotus?
No, but I love Mike White because he was in School of Rock, so he's going to be on my team anyway.
Yeah, there it is. That's it, School of Rock. So this is Mike. He's Hollywood, he's camp, he's got this dry humor, he's got this savvy play. He is so sardonic, he's so fun to watch. He is in this not just because he's really famous and because he puts people from his seasons of Survivor onto his show, but I think also Jeff really, really likes him as well.
I think Mike is most likely to be like the narrator of this series. You know, he's the person that when we go to see him in his confessionals, in his little like diary room snippets, he's going to be the one sort of like waxing sardonic about what's going on. Like, he's going to really paint a picture. And if you are looking for someone who is likely to like get some narrative points, you know, like potentially saying the episode titles, potentially saying it's just a game, Mike's a good shout. He is almost certainly not going to win, if only because the man is loaded. And it's the reason he lost the first time. You know, his first season, David vs. Goliath, he played, I think, inarguably the best game. He's still, I think, one of the best players of all time. The problem is when he gets to the end, you know, he's facing down a guy who is, you know, struggling to afford rent, and he's like, okay, guys, you kind of can't give me $1 million. I think you need to give $1 million to him instead. He can't win. He just absolutely can't win, but he's gonna go far.
Camilla is next. She was that strategist with Kyle who had the secret 2-person alliance. They were in different alliances visibly, but they kept working together and they got to the end together. Camilla is a great player, useless at challenges, which makes it really fascinating. She's in a tribe with Jonathan. I think she's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think Camilla's success in this game depends on the other person from her, like, you know, the other people from her season getting cut away and like giving her the chance to sort of play on her own. The problem for her is everyone saw her go out and in 4th on her first season, and I think potentially the last episode of Survivor these people saw before Survivor 50 started was everyone on the jury saying, oh, if Camilla gets to the end, of course we're going to let her win. Of course we're going to vote for her. So she's got potentially the biggest challenge to like get through her first few episodes.
So you know when they're on the jury, right? So at the end they vote for the winner, right? I'm right in
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah, cool. Do people who get done over because of gameplay respect the game player enough and go, do you know what, you were so good, I have to vote for you because you got me out and you were so good? Does that happen a lot, or?
It's funny you should ask that, because the next person we're going to talk about is Charlie. So yes, they tend to nowadays respect the play and say, you got me out, you deserve to win. Initially, first 15, 20 seasons, that wasn't the way things went. People got very sour grapes and they voted for the people who did the less harm to them. Charlie is this fascinating player. One of my favorite players in the new era. He should have won Survivor 46. He was known for being a Swiftie, but also for having his alliance with Maria, very strong player. She turned on him, he turned on her, he defeated her. She went out and he lost her vote in the final. She voted for Kenzie, Kenzie won, and Charlie lost $1 million because he pissed off someone enough not to vote for him, which is really unlikely in this modern era.
Yeah, just because obviously we're drafting, so it's nice to know.
Yeah. Oh, it matters. Yeah, for sure.
Little things. Yeah, it matters.
Yeah, jury management is a really weird and fascinating part of Survivor, where it's like you do have to screw these people over, but you need to also figure out, are they the sort of person that's going to respect that, or are they going to be salty about it? Like, are they going to be bitter? Because if they're going to be bitter, you're going to end up like Charlie and lose the game. I fear for Charlie. I think everyone knows he's really good and should have won.
He's so likable. He's so socially adept. He, in his season, seemed so unthreatening and always knew the right play. He's brilliant, and he should have won Survivor 46, and that, I think, will mean he can't win this one.
He looks like quite a thin person on the picture I'm looking at. Is he good at challenges? Like, how does he get on with like the challenges? Just because I'm looking at his picture and you lot are saying amazing things, and I'm like, but how does he get on with that?
He's all right in challenges. I really think him being on a tribe with Jonathan means he's very much not the beefcake of the Callow tribe. I don't think Charlie would be offended for me saying that.
His challenge prowess was not great, except that he knew, based on the rhythm and the cadence of different tasks that come back in different seasons, that he had to train his grip strength. So before he went on his season, he trained his grip strength and did really well in a variety of tasks that required him to be strong at grip strength. That shows his intelligence trumps everything else. He knew how to prepare for the season in a way that others didn't. I think that was Charlie. We've got 3 more people to go through. One we've already talked about. So Tiff. Tiff was in season 46. Like Charlie, her game was wrecked by Q, who's also in this season. Strong social play, very likable character. Didn't do particularly well in her series, and I think I don't think it's unfair to say she's only there because Q ruined her season and she could have done so much better without him.
I think that might be a problem for her, though, because everyone on this cast is aware of each other's threat levels, other than the 49ers, as we've talked about, but they know that this is the sort of person that goes on to do very well. So Tiffany's going to have to manage that. She's going to have to figure out like who she can align with that's not going to throw her to the wolves later on. Again, Tiffany is as a wild card to me.
Then we've got Coach, who we've talked about a lot. It's hard to imagine Coach not getting a lot of confessionals. It's also hard to imagine Coach not getting probably to the merge, because he's just the kind of player who does. So I would say Coach is a good person to back. We've talked a lot about him today, so let's move straight on to our last person, who is Chrissy. Chrissy is very interesting because she was considered useless at the start of her season, but she emerged, and this was Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, right? This is your first season, right?
This was my first love. Chrissy's my first love, Ivan.
She was thought to be useless, but emerged as a challenge beast and hold, jointly with Savannah and some other players, the most individual immunity wins for a woman in the game. So she's brilliant. She's strong, and her and Jonathan are going to make the Callow tribe look fantastic.
I am going to plant my flag in the ground right now, Ivan. I'm going to tell you that not only is Chrissy on my team, Chrissy is my pick to win Survivor 50. And that is my heart speaking, ultimately. Like, she was so robbed on her first outing. We won't relitigate what happened. Essentially, she should have got the opportunity to vote someone out of Final Four. she was robbed of that opportunity, and then she lost to that guy. Chrissy is in, I think, the perfect spot of being threatening enough to put herself into good standing, but not being so threatening that she will be like sniped for being a big threat. I think if Chrissy can get deep into the game, I think she will be the person that has a dominant alliance.
Wow. Okay, you heard it. There we go. I find it hard to doubt that, but I'm not going to pick her because you are. So there we go.
Let's not come back
much...
to this when we're in episode 3 and she's voted out.
Wilf, I would love to know where you're at with the second half of these players. Anybody spring to mind as a decent pick for you?
So I have put Coach, obviously, Siri, Christian, Mike White, and Tiff, just because I think Tiff might go under the radar a little bit and get far just because of that play. If she plays it right. Obviously, I don't know her, but from what you lot said, she'll probably just... People don't really know what to expect from her. Is that right? And she got done over. Was that girl, Tiff?
She did get done over, yeah. And yeah, I mean, maybe Q will do it again just for laughs, but I'm not sure. How about your bogey?
The lols.
Have you got any bogey picks right now? Who do you think is going to do the worst?
Is it D or Camilla?
D. Camilla.
D or Camilla?
Camilla is the one who we
black
said is
hair.
probably quite... Yeah, black hair. I think, that could be a possible bogey pick. D as well, previous winner. They won't keep winners in for that long if they get the chance to get rid of them. So either of those could be a decent bogey kick. All right, interesting. Okay, well, there it is.
Did you call it a gogi dick? Did you do it the right way around?
Yeah, I called it a gogi dick, yeah.
Oh, that's a bad case of gogi dick from Ivan Brett there. I think that's a really interesting set of 5 because I don't necessarily think those are people that are going to work together, but I think that some of those people are going to go far. I don't see all of those people getting knocked out.
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting. Hey, for those of you at home, hopefully that's given you a bit of a primer on the 24 players of the season. Hopefully you feel prepared enough now to watch the series because we'll be back in 2 weeks to pick apart episode 1 and go over your fantasy scores with a brand new special guest. In the meantime, if you like this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Follow us on Instagram, like, comment, because as always, we'll be responding in the next episode to those of you who comment with interesting questions or ideas. And thank you for listening. So until next time, I'm Ivan, and you can find me at GogiDick on Instagram.
I'm Alex, and you can find me at Beefcake Squad on LinkedIn.
My name's Will. You can refer to me as Coach and only Coach at Gmail.
And goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye, driver. Bye-bye, driver.
Why are we wolves now? It's not wolves.
Is that like a sort of Punic recording studio that you're in?
This is literally my house. It's nice, isn't it? It's got beams. I got beams.
I must say, I really like, because I think I've seen this room sort of was the beam always there? I feel like the beam has changed a little bit.
No, beam's always been there. The house hasn't. The beam was here before the house. That's the thing with this beam.
Oh, so it's one of those beam first designs.
Yeah, it's the immovable beam. So you get this in. You press the button, beam stays. Then you just like lay the roof on beam. Yeah,
it's sort of the rib cage of the house when you think about it.
And do you know what? I'm so glad you said that. Thank you so much. Maybe the beam's grown. Maybe I should be concerned about beam.
There's like a not a cut in the beam, but there's sort of like a little like split.
Don't say no, because this is no, don't say that. That's concerning to me.
No, it's clearly a conscious split. It's clearly just the design of the wood. It's just I've noticed it.
I feel like this is a house. I've just bought this house. Now there's a split in the wood, Alex.
No, your beam's got a gash. It's fine.
Thank Gash Beam. Don't speak about Gash Beam like that.
It's a
Gash
feature in a lot.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Do you mean that Gash?
Yeah,
it's lovely, that Gash.
It's like having a Belfast sink. You know, it's a thing that people buy a house for.
Yeah, you'll see up here in the twin room. It's got a Gash Beam. It's got
you got your skylight. You got your double glazing. You got your Gash Beam. You know all the mod cons.
Gash Beam, single plank of wood for the roof. You know the sort of situation. Welcome to the podcast, Gash Beam.
Can Gash Beam be our guest for episode 1.
Sweet.